What's going on, everyone? Cam Newton just dropped a take that has the entire NFL world spinning in circles trying to figure out exactly what he actually means. He's out here saying Shedeur Sanders won't do anything good for the Cleveland Browns if he starts, which sounds absolutely insane on the surface, right? Because that's literally the exact same narrative every Shedeur hater has been pushing for months now. But then, in the very next breath, Cam turns around and says Shedeur actually has massive potential and genuine talent, but he's simply not enough by himself to fix the absolutely awful offense that Kevin Stefanski has constructed in Cleveland. So now we're left with this confusing question that needs answering. Is the Cleveland offensive system really so fundamentally broken, so completely dysfunctional that even a legitimately talented quarterback can't possibly save it? Or is Cam Newton just hating on Shedeur for no legitimate reason whatsoever? Do you honestly think Shedeur could actually turn this entire situation around if he finally gets his deserved opportunity to start? That statement came directly from Cam Newton, and he's essentially saying he doesn't believe Shedeur would perform any better than what we're currently witnessing. I've got to strongly disagree with Cam on that particular assessment. I genuinely think Shedeur would be substantially better, like not even close to the same level of performance we're seeing now. Let's get one fundamental thing absolutely straight right from the start. Cam Newton is definitely wrong when he claims Shedeur Sanders would be of no use whatsoever to the Cleveland Browns. Like, seriously, how can any rational person argue that a quarterback with that level of documented talent would be completely useless? Everyone who's been paying attention knows the biggest glaring problem in Cleveland right now is unquestionably the quarterback position, and nothing else comes close. They've got an offensive system that's desperately crying out for legitimate leadership, confidence, and direction, and that's precisely what Shedeur brings to any team he plays for. A genuinely good quarterback fundamentally changes everything about an organization, including the overall energy throughout the building, the competitive drive on the field, and even how the entire team appears and performs during games. So Cam saying Shedeur won't make any measurable difference is just completely wrong and unsupported by evidence. If anything, he represents exactly the kind of player who could wake this entire dormant team up from their offensive coma. Don't you think it's past time someone reminded Cam that a strong quarterback doesn't just mechanically throw passes? He builds genuine confidence throughout a dead offense and transforms the entire culture. Now, the second part of what Cam stated, he's not entirely wrong about that portion, because let's be completely honest about the current situation. The Browns offense has been genuinely struggling at historic levels, like really truly struggling in ways that are embarrassing for a professional organization. We witnessed it clearly displayed in that recent Patriots game. Zero productive effort after the game script went completely off their predetermined plan, and literally no creativity whatsoever in the play calling throughout 4 quarters. They barely managed to move the chains consistently, couldn't convert critical third downs when it mattered, and their total offensive yardage was genuinely embarrassing for any NFL level team competing professionally. How can anyone possibly expect positive results when the system itself appears fundamentally broken at its core? The offense looks genuinely scared to take any risks, terrified to open up creative plays or attack defenses vertically. And honestly, that conservative philosophy falls directly on Kevin Stefanski's shoulders. So yes, Cam absolutely does have a legitimate point there. The offensive system is an absolute mess right now, but is it truly so catastrophically bad that even a quarterback with Shedeur's talent level can't do anything productive about it? Absolutely not, and that's where Cam's logic breaks down completely. Because a truly elite quarterback fundamentally changes and elevates the system he operates within. Don't you think that's exactly what the Browns desperately need right now? A genuine shock to their stagnant system, and someone who can actually move the ball consistently and establish a completely new competitive tone. At the end of the day, absolutely nobody is claiming the Browns can magically transform into championship winners overnight with one roster change, but to act like this offense represents a completely lost cause beyond any possible salvation is just fundamentally wrong and defeatist. Every struggling offense in NFL history can turn around dramatically with the right quarterback behind center making plays. A genuinely good quarterback absolutely does transform the entire system around him. Give Shedeur the legitimate chance he's earned, and you'll witness receivers suddenly catching fire, offensive drives getting substantially longer, and the competitive energy completely shifting throughout the organization. The Browns genuinely have enough talented pieces on their roster. What they've been desperately missing is someone who can bring all those pieces together cohesively and actually lead them effectively. So maybe Cam needs to seriously rethink his statement, because if Shedeur actually gets that starting spot he deserves, we might witness a completely different Browns team emerge almost immediately. What do you guys honestly think? Is it really the offensive system that's irredeemably bad, or is it just desperately missing its true leader? Dillon Gabriel has been nothing except awful as a quarterback throughout his entire tenure. Every single game shows the exact same mess repeating itself. The offense looks completely lifeless under his direction, because how can anyone expect positive results when your quarterback consistently can't make even decent plays? It's crystal clear he's only starting because Stefanski personally wants him there for whatever reason, not because he's actually earned that position through superior performance. And that reality makes everything substantially worse. This isn't about legitimate performance evaluation anymore. It's entirely about Stefanski's stubborn personal loyalty overriding football logic. But why is he sticking with Dillon so blindly and irrationally? Is it pure personal hatred for Shedeur driving these decisions? Or is there something else happening behind the scenes? Something potentially tied to money, agent relationships, or internal organizational politics? Before connecting all the dots, let's establish who Dan Lanning actually is. Dan Lanning currently serves as the head coach of the Oregon Ducks, one of the most competitive and prestigious college football programs in the entire country. Lanning coached Dillon Gabriel previously back in college, and their personal relationship extends way back over years. He's one of those coaches who genuinely likes to stand by his former players regardless of circumstances. And clearly, he still maintains a significant soft spot for Dillon personally. He has publicly called him hardworking numerous times in media appearances. But let's be completely real for a second. Working hard in practice is one thing. Actually performing effectively in games is something entirely different. You can train intensively all day, every day, and still completely choke under actual pressure. And that's exactly what we've consistently witnessed from Dillon in game situations. So yes, maybe Lanning is proud of him for his practice effort and preparation, but is effort alone enough when your throws are consistently off target, your decision making is frustratingly slow, and you're actively dragging the entire offense down with your poor play? Sometimes it genuinely feels like these coaches confuse personal loyalty with sound football logic. And this is what Lanning had to say about Dillon recently, that he's done an unbelievable job staying connected with his old teammates, that he still regularly checks in with the Oregon guys, and that he's mentally ready to make the most of his next professional chapter. I mean, great for him personally, good for maintaining relationships, but honestly, shouldn't he be substantially more focused on actually playing well on Sundays instead of staying emotionally connected with old college teams? It's almost funny how everyone keeps constantly talking about Dillon's supposed hard work and great character, but absolutely nobody mentions how visibly uncomfortable he looks on the field during games. Lanning sounds proud when discussing him, and maybe that's perfectly fine from a coach's sentimental point of view, but fans aren't watching games for emotional speeches about character. They desperately want tangible results. They want touchdowns scored, not heartwarming stories about how nice Dillon is as a person, because at the end of the day, being a genuinely good guy off the field doesn't win football games on Sunday. Don't you think it's past time people stop excessively hyping effort and start demanding actual execution? And this is where things start looking a little too suspicious for comfort. Kevin Stefanski and Dan Lanning just happen to share the exact same agent, and that agent is Jimmy Sexton. One runs a major college program, the other is running the Browns organization, and both somehow religiously support Dillon Gabriel unconditionally. It's not technically illegal or explicitly against rules, but it definitely makes people talk and raises legitimate questions. People are actually starting to seriously ask if Stefanski and Lanning share a deeper connection beyond just having the same agent representation. Is there something else going on behind closed doors? Could there potentially be money involved somehow in these decisions? Is Lanning possibly pushing Stefanski to keep Gabriel as the starting quarterback just to protect his own coaching image and track record? Or are both of them simply too caught up in their personal feelings about Shedeur? Whatever the actual truth is, it's starting to make this whole situation look increasingly messy and suspicious. Because here's the undeniable thing, Stefanski is actively protecting Gabriel even when the entire league is openly laughing at how bad the situation has gotten. Opposing teams are calling Stefanski and his offense a predictable gimmick. Fans are rapidly losing patience week after week, and yet Stefanski refuses to make any changes or even seriously address it. Why is that? Why is he still stubbornly betting on a quarterback who's clearly not delivering results? Maybe now it's starting to make more sense when you connect these dots. The endless criticism Stefanski receives, the stubborn conservative play calls, the absolute refusal to give Shedeur a legitimate shot. It's like no matter how many losses pile up, he's determined to prove a point that literally nobody else even believes in anymore. And honestly, at this advanced stage, you've got to ask, is Lanning actually keeping him from making the change everyone's desperately waiting for? And is Stefanski being forced to maintain this approach, or is he doing it willingly because his personal agenda is to keep Shedeur sidelined as long as humanly possible? And if that's genuinely not the case, then Stefanski needs to come out publicly and speak up clearly. He can't just stay completely silent while these legitimate questions keep coming up repeatedly. Fans absolutely deserve honest answers, and Shedeur deserves basic fairness and opportunity. You can't keep a genuinely talented player benched indefinitely and feed the media vague statements every single week. It's not just ruining Shedeur's professional growth and development, it's tearing down the entire franchise's credibility. This kind of deliberate silence only adds more fuel to the conspiracy rumors. Stefanski needs to face this situation head on and be actually transparent for once. Because right now, it genuinely looks like he's hiding behind the same tired excuses while the team keeps losing games. Most importantly, Stefanski has to stop acting like everything's perfectly fine when it's clearly not remotely fine. His vague, almost arrogant answers in press conferences, saying next question dismissively, deflecting questions about the injury status of his players, or avoiding accountability like it's not his focus are just making everything substantially worse. Fans see directly through it, and players do too. If accountability genuinely applies to everyone in the organization, then it should absolutely apply to Gabriel as well. Stefanski needs to say it out loud publicly. Gabriel has to improve dramatically and fast, because this isn't just about one player anymore. It's about an entire team that's losing direction and purpose. And the first critical step to fixing it is honestly admitting what's broken. If Stefanski truly cares about this team's future success, it's past time to stop hiding behind convenient excuses and start acting like a leader who values tangible results over personal preferences and relationships. So what do you guys honestly think about this entire situation? Is Stefanski being forced to stick with Gabriel due to agent connections and external pressure? Or is this purely his own stubborn decision? Could Shedeur actually turn this offense around if given a real opportunity? Or is the system so broken that even he couldn't fix it? Drop your thoughts in the comments because this conversation is absolutely critical. And if you want to stay updated on every development in this ongoing Browns drama, make sure you hit that subscribe button because this story is far from over and things are about to get even more interesting very soon.